Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tea Time with Kitty, giving everyone a second to get all logged in so we can talk about our pressing subject that we've been waiting to discuss for some time. Um, Sit back and relax. I'm going to shout out a few March birthdays. As you know, my queen's birthday was this month on the 9th. Hey, Shamika. So continuing to celebrate her throughout the rest of the month. My little sister, my first little sister that was around me all the time, will be celebrating her birthday. Hi, sis, on this Friday. So happy birthday, Mika. And then we have Nessa. Nessa will be celebrating her birthday, Christian girlfriend, on Friday as well. So happy birthday to her. Hey Donna, you can hear me good, loud and clear. Thank you so much. Hey Nye, welcome back, Sanaya, to tea time. Any more birthdays, make sure you drop them in the chat for the month of March. We want to make sure we capture all of those March birthdays. I can't think of any more that may have missed that I should have gave a shout out. I know my little cousin, I think little Rome birthday was this month. Or was it Shayna's other son? But happy birthday to one of those Miles boys. Um, and welcome to all of you. The weather is nice. The weather is really nice. I guess the season for nice weather is coming. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know we had a little snow shower a little bit, but I think it was this month, if I'm not mistaken, or the end of last month. But this year we have not received any snow. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that we had any snow this year. While we wait for everybody else to log in, just chat me how you feel about that no snow. How do you feel about that no snow? I'm not a snow person at all. However, I did look forward to snow days where you could just kind of be in the house. But I think that we got so much quality time with our family during COVID that and with us teleworking and having laptops from school that we probably would have still had to work or do school during the snow, right? So Shamika said it feel good. It feels good that she did not have any snow. I do not like snow and ice. Anyone else? Anyone else? Um, your mother and your niece. What are you saying? Their birthday, Sanaya? Because their birthdays are. Hey, sis, their birthdays are in April. Your mom' birthday is in April, Sanaya. Not sure about your niece. Hey, sis. Happy birthday. There's Dr. Tamika Greenwood. Happy birthday, Dr. Tamika Greenwood, who will be celebrating her birthday on Friday. I had a chance to fellowship with two of my sisters this week. One was Radiance. They were having Women's Day at her church. I was able to go to her Women's Day service at her church on Sunday. And then Sunday night, I went to hear Mika sing at her church. And that church is really moving me. I'm trying to hang on to my church, but that church is really moving me. But I am definitely committed to visiting with her every fourth Sunday. And me and Yanni both agreed that we're going to definitely start there. So every Sunday, Mika, if you're there, remind us. If you're not there, let us know so that we can make sure that we're there in that place, that spirit filled the room. So thankful for the invites. Okay, so we had a list of things that we talked about, and we talked about these things as they relate to stress, but we also went into it talking about stress leading to suicide, right? So we talked about the stress that's leading to suicide and what we should be doing. So some of the things of course, we're not going to probably be able to touch everything on the list. But we want to talk about some of the things that lead to it. And while we're at it, we're going to start on the piece of work, school, and education. And prayers going up. Shamika just told me that there was a shooting, and I'm thinking it happened today. If not, I believe maybe yesterday at an elementary school where someone killed some children at school. So didn't have a chance to research the story before getting on tea time. And you all know that I kind of try to stay away from the news because it doesn't do good for my anxiety. And my fear, Nashville shooting, thank you, it was yesterday. Okay, thank you, ladies. So we're talking about stress that leads to that. So let me just say, as a parent, first and foremost, aside from just the suicide, but innocent people being harmed, make sure, and I know I don't have to worry about this with the tea time rules, right? But make sure your children are not bullies, right? Make sure that your children are not the bully, because so many times you hear that kids have actually committed suicide because of bullying, right? So you definitely would not want that on your family, or blood on your family hand, your children hand, by your child bullying someone so much that it caused them to come home from school or not want to go to school and harm themselves. So parents, be mindful of that. Be mindful of who you're raising. Please be mindful and don't be in doubt. Don't be ashamed. Get them the help and the services that they need. But it's very important. Aside from them bullying people, we want to make sure your child is not being bullied, right? I only had one child that really probably had a little issue with that, but hers went from kind of bullying to the bully, from being bullied to being a bully, and kind of back and forth. But if you have a child, check on your child. And there's a few things while we're talking about the school, the work, the education piece around suicide. It is not okay. And I know people get a sense of peace from it, but it is not okay to have an isolated child. Okay. It is not okay. Let me go to what Neat's response is here. So, what's so crazy is I see this topic. I'm on the train and someone is having a mental breakdown, talking about losing a friend to suicide. Oh my God. And that's just confirmation that this here, is for all of us, because we never know what people are going through. And that's why we're going to stay on this series and spend some time on this series, so that we can gain some knowledge and information to share with someone that may stop them from getting to that last boiling point, right? So I was talking about the school piece. Hold on, did I go with the school piece? Did I go back to school? Mhm. Y'all gotta help me out with this what to say, this 50-year-old man. I went through that so much with going to different schools and moving around a lot. It's definitely not okay. And I'm going to heavily teach my girls that I lost a friend to suicide. Of this. Oh wow, Sherelle, I didn't know that, niece. Okay. Okay, so it's definitely real, right? So when we're talking about that, okay, I know what I was saying. Thank you, God, for the Holy Spirit bringing that back, because I got to pray over tea time for this crazy stuff that be going on. Hey sis, tea time family. The tea time family is here. So we were talking about it not being okay to have isolated kids, and I know that we all want those children that's not outside, that's not, but it is not okay to have kids that sit in a room all day and only come out to use the bathroom and eat, and they're even on social media all day, or they're on some type of video system all day. That is very, very concerning. The first beginning of it, and to each his own. I'm just going to speak about my home, but to each his own. I never did lock doors in my house, and I just was blessed, because a lot of time being a single mom, I didn't have a lot of male presence. Like, I was big on that. You had hours to visit me, right? So I was able to afford my kids a luxury where they didn't have to know to lock their room door, because you don't know who mom going to have in here on any given day, right? But be mindful of that, because kids are learning so much. Check on them, and check on them and check their phones. Let me tell you this, parents. Check on them and check. Don't be scared to be a parent, right? Most of us on tea time are either rich, right? We either rich or we a day away from rich. Come on and agree. Don't y'all get to looking at y'all bank accounts and not being sure. We either already rich, or we're gonna be rich any day now, if you're on tea time, right? Any day now, right? So we're gonna speak it into existence, where we're not raising Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, trying to think of a few other stars where they are maybe able to, the Huxtable kids, Rudy and the little girl, I can't think of her name, but they probably had income coming in where they could help foot the bills with their parents, right? So we are blessed where we ain't got to worry about that, right? So meaning that every door in our house belongs to us. So all that with these kids telling you, this is my door and I'll lock it, pull up a couple of apartment complexes in nice neighborhoods and show them what it's renting for, right? Let them know that they're not doing you a favor, right? Being in your house talking about they locking a door, right? Because I wasn't big on locking doors, right? And you ain't gonna be locking no doors up in my house. So make sure that we're involved with our children, and we can't just blame it on the children, right? Because one thing that I listened to 104.1, what they said is sometimes we can't get our kids' attention at the dinner table because we're on Instagram too. So I'm batting that spirit right out. If you are a parent and you're on Instagram more than your children or whatever social media, I'm banding that out right now. Let that demon go, right? Because we're leading by example. Okay. I agree, and not having social and physical interaction is concerning. A lot of kids sit in the room, eat, gain weight, and sit in front of the TV. And when we're talking about gaining weight, it goes back to obesity, right? And the one thing I want to research, and I'm going to put a note here, I want to know what population is obesity with. Is it with younger, older? And I'm going to try to bring you all the information back. Or if someone's a good typer and a good researcher and can get it before tea time is over, please feel free to do so. Amen, Mika. Pay attention to the things people post, either friends or just someone posting things. Okay, so Pookie, that's a very valid point, right? That you have to be mindful. So, with that being said, I'm going to put this right here. Don't be pretending. Don't be crying wolf, because we get people that really, really, really is going through crisis and need help. But then you get some people who are a little bit more attention seeking, right? So if you are that attention seeker, let's cast that out right now, because we need to know that when you crying and say it's a wolf, we know to get a rifle. We don't want to be driving umpteen hours, loading up a gun to come save you, and all you doing is crying wolf because you need a little bit more ketchup on your burger, right? Because these things are serious and people are really dealing with mental health warfare, right? So we don't need anyone pretending like if you need help and you crying out and we're looking on your page to make sure you're good and we start to see that things has changed and people's trying to read. Don't play about that. Do not play about that. All kids, as kids, we all wanted to play outside. But they don't even know how to play outside anymore. And I get it, everywhere is not safe, but everywhere is not bad, right? You should be able to go to a nice park in the daytime before it even gets 6:30, 7 o'clock. Good, start loading your kids up like I used to do on a regular in my truck and head on home, right? But kids need it for so many different reasons, right? Because they get to thinking that something going on with you if you're just keeping me so shuttled in here and I'm not able to make good choices and decisions because you're not allowing me to do so, right? So let's get the kids out the room. If you are that person, if you have a good relationship with someone who's that person, get them, even with the kids with the social media, let them earn it. Get them 2 hours a day. I know that once I went back to work, I knew that I was on Facebook so much, and I have decreased that tremendously. Never really was into Instagram, but now I'll get on Facebook during my lunch break so that I can monitor myself, or I may check it in the morning. I may check it. I don't post as much, don't comment as much, because you don't want anything consuming you so much that you're not focused on anything else. Can't trust outside. That's why play areas are so popular in Sky Zone. Yeah, I definitely understand. But even in the inside of things, people are losing their last piece of mind, right? Losing their last piece of mind. And right there, 1 second, I'm gonna pause 1 second, but I do have something for you. Because we gotta do our tea time icebreaker. What is it called? The hot topic, right? The hot topic. Let me know in the chat right now, right? Let me know. Okay, let me read my niece first. Guilty, even though Camille is young, she loves outside and get mad. I bring her in the house, laugh out of our teeth. So call me. We can hook up for a play date, take her to a playground. I know it's one uptown that has a really good toddler playground, because all playgrounds don't have really good toddler playgrounds. So I know it's one uptown that in Northeast that has a really good toddler playground, and it's one out of Virginia. If you keep straight, like if you're at Pentagon City and you can see that little baseball park and field, and you just keep driving down, there's a nice toddler park That I'll find the street name out and share it, but it's a nice toddler park. And when I say toddler park, just to help you out, the equipment is a little shorter for them, as well as they have the swings that they put their feet inside of, as a to get them more support. And the thing about this park, I'm gonna find the name of it. I had it because I had took Yari there when Yanni was out of town. And they have a book trail. So me and Yari was able to walk and read books as we walk. They had big pictures of book, and I thought that was so. Y'all don't take out advantage of outside like I did with my kids. It ain't cost no money, right? Y'all don't take like that to me. Having a library, each time you walk, it was a library of books, and you read the story. And when you got at the end of the trail, you was done with the book. That kind of stuff right there, that gets me all worked out. Right, I love that kind of stuff. The obesity rate for children ages 6 to 11. Thank you, Mika, has also more than quadrupled during the past 40 years, from 4.2 to 17.4%. That is huge. That is huge, especially when you're thinking about what they said COVID did to kids being inside. That is huge. Pookie called it a car seat swing. Is it really called that? Because I never knew that. You learn something every day. What is it called? A car seat swing. But y'all know what I'm talking about, and definitely got you, niece. I encourage later. She attends Morgan State. Go Boo to go outside and explore, but outside is dangerous. I definitely understand. She went to a party with her friends last month, and someone shot her friend while. Oh my God! Prayers going, man. It is. Oh my God! I don't even, sister, my heart just goes out like that right there is a reason to make you want to just shuttle in, and not be a part of anything. So prayer is definitely needed. I tell you, just hearing stories like that, you just can't go anywhere or do anything. I used to enjoy taking Nala to the park at the work. I think it's about the park at the work when I got off early. Okay, well get back to it, because you can be walking around the swing exercising while she's swinging. So here I didn't want her to go anywhere, and I don't blame you. Oh, you made that up. You must have. Oh, I like it though. I like it. You don't want to go anywhere, and my thing is, it's just so sad that we have to kind of really like pick and choose. And anybody that know me knows that I love me some RE, and I ain't been near it, right? Aside from them smoking you out, smoking all your lungs out of your body while you at Aqua, but just that people are so unhinged in so many different ways. So you want to truly stay away. And how do you even really stay away? Because on one report point where today it was talking about fear surrounding allowing your children to live, right? So we talked about obesity. We're gonna come on down to, let's talk about this one here: broken heart leading to suicide. What are your thoughts on that? Someone threw that out. Broken heart as it relates to suicide. Do you think this is happening often, right? Broken heart due to suicide. We have to stay prayed up because it can literally happen anywhere. Remember, the people at the grocery store, we can't be scared to live. We definitely, and I am one who definitely is one, and I'm trying to replace fear with favor. So I'm trying to use favor more instead of fear, because when that word fear, you got to put a mighty strong word up against fear, right? And love is one of the words that you could use up against fear, but now it's hard to even get the people to love, right? So we're gonna have to ask for favor over fear, right? We have to ask for favor over fear. Broken heart. Do you all feel like this is something that's happening in our community? People are committing suicide. I don't know of a lot of situations where people have committed suicide over relationships, but I have seen where people have harmed people because of broken hearts or over relationships, right? I do know that the younger population today are really big on stating to their spouse, if you break up with me, I'm gonna cut my arm, I'm gonna take these pills, I'm an X, Y, and Z. To get the attention that they want. Do you all feel that broken heart you know is associated with suicide a great deal, or you think not so much as it being associated with? And we're going to go back to So Sanaya said her brother girlfriend be doing that, trying to kill herself every time he say he gonna leave. Yeah, that young population. I haven't heard of suicide, but depression and definitely people killing their right. That's what I hear. People killing their significant other. And let me just tell you, even if you kill your significant other because they don't want to be with you, even if you don't go to jail for it, you still ain't gonna have that person. So definitely try to love on yourself and know that people can disappoint you. It's okay. It does not necessarily mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean, but people can disappoint you, right? Especially if they're not lined up with some higher power that's giving them some direction. People can, they're just people, right? They're just people. They didn't down across for you. They're just people. So start trusting more in your God than man, right? Because people are going to steer you wrong. But there are things when we talk about prayer down the line that you can pray for to make you, make you be able to deal with things that come from someone violating you, cheating you, cheating on you, rejecting you. There's ways to get through those things. I do, but I believe it's definitely from people who haven't experienced love at home or aren't emotionally stable. That would make a lot of sense. That will make a lot of sense. You're already not equipped for what you're going into. And then when it happens, it's like a whole big deal. And it's hard for you to bounce back with. Let's see what some other things that you all had on the list. Let's see, social peer pressure, right? So we had peer pressure on the list. What do you all think about peer pressure as it relates to suicide? Do you all feel like peer pressure plays a big part of suicide? What are your take on that? Peer pressure and suicide. I do know that sometimes peer pressure can have a lot of suicidal behavior, right? And let me give you an example of what I mean by that. I don't know of the actual suicide. I only like to speak to things that I actually know. But I know I have seen kids either almost die or have died in things like car accidents from police chase where your friend's telling you drive faster, and you may, hit something, or the police, may have crashed into your car, and you may have been free car. We talking about, yeah, taking a free car. So and going on a joyride. I do think that sometimes peer pressure can lead to a child. Oh, that's what a stolen car is called, a free car. Is that what you mean? Okay. And sometimes people can. Okay, thank you. Sometimes people can uh do drugs, or try a drug, or try playing with a gun, and things that, so I do feel like peer pressure could lead to a form of that. So Nika said I'm there. Right. Oh, okay. I think depression, definitely a form of depression. And that's why I need for parents, because our children friends have way more control over their decision makings than we do, right? They have way more control over it. So that's why we need to be in their ear and not just talking about nothing, but sharing with them, giving them examples, encouraging them, showing them love, praying for them, giving them a certain type of a support. When we talk about, let's see what we have here. When peer pressure is bestowed upon a person in the wrong situation or wrong place, it makes them overthink, overwhelmed, and scared, because if they're trying to impress the wrong people, it definitely will have you impressing the wrong people that care nothing about you, right? And that's why I try to have my kids engaged in mature things that I do, not adult, because adult and mature is different, right? But mature things that I do, so they can learn and communicate. So if you have teenagers and stuff, encourage them to join tea time as well. Encourage them to join tea time, because you're dealing with persons your age, persons your parents' age. It's just like a whole family over a big pot of tea, just talking about things that we should have been talked about. I think depression from the broken heart can lead to suicide. There was a documentary about a girl peer pressuring her boyfriend to commit suicide. Wow. The boy did that and she was charged. What? No, what? Oh my gosh. People are not stable, to talk someone into killing themselves. I do because some people don't have the right friends around them. The friends could be nice to your face and different behind your back. And my kids know I am not as interested in meeting your friends as if I'm interested in meeting their parents. I thank God for wisdom and I thank God that I can see through people and I can tell I didn't even need to meet the child. I can tell by the parent if I want my child around that child. I can tell by the parent, right? And it can be so where the child is a good child, just got a little parent that's off the hinge, but it's some issues that still need to be worked out in that home. And I could tell by the parent that I didn't want my child around such and such a child, right? Um, let's see. But thankfully I never chose suicide. And I say, and I have, went through my zones, but that's something that I never ever thought or attempted to do. So I thank God for that. Thank God for a sound mind. If anyone's struggling with that, may a sense of protection be placed over you, inside and outside of you, that you'll know that that is not the way. That's why you stop calling everybody friend. Definitely important. Because see, sometimes your kids need to hear stuff from other people as well as from you. So when they keep hearing it from you, oh, mom thinks you know something about dad, think you know what he talk about. But when it's and in a community connection, that's like with their friends. They're hearing it from different ones over and over and over again. So I definitely say make sure your children are engaging in something. Know what their thought process is. Know what your kids look. Just having a child housed up in the house does not make them a good child. Know what they thinking. A lot of time, these Caucasian children that blow up stuff were building guns and bombs in their parent houses for months. So that means that 9 times out of 10, their parents was not stopping in their bedrooms. How do you pay a mortgage or even rent somewhere and don't have access to the entire house? Everything in my house belongs to me, even their body parts. And even their body parts. So I don't know, and I know, oh, but gentle parent. That ain't gentle. That's kind of crazy parenting, right? Let them know that I care about you so much. I want to know if your toe match. Is your toe bigger than it was last week? Let me see your toe. I want to be all up in your business because I get them the right for them to like, anytime you don't want me out of your business, all you gotta do is move. You ain't even gotta move far away. You just move where you got your own keys, and the door locked. So get all up in their business. Maybe it won't make them stay as long. I really wish I had that coming up. Shaking it was so hard going to different schools and being picked on. Definitely. And kids will pick on you for no reason. I like to say that all the time when me and my brothers first moved to Southeast. Them kids wanted to fight all the time. And I remember my Uncle Richard would tell me, oh, don't move them kids over there to Southeast. Them people crazy over there. No, don't move them kids. But I mean, I used to this little girl at John F. Cook, she's the one to beat me up every day too. It was just one though at John F. Cook, right? And she wanted to beat me up, and I ain't do anything to this little girl. And every day after school, she wanted to fight, and I had no idea because I wasn't trying to fight nobody, right? I wanted to go to school, color, and let my grandmother pick me up so I can go home and watch the stories with her. And this little girl wanted to fight. But Lord behold, right? When my brother, he must have started like maybe like a month after me. He was in like the preschool part of kindergarten. So I would have to go get him out of his class and bring him to my class so he could fight the girl so she wouldn't fight me. He knew how to punch her good in her stomach, right? But I was just like, kids would just want to fight you like for no reason, right? But honey, when we came over to that parkland and started that Mildred Green Elementary School, I don't know who raised these kids, right? But all they wanted to do was fight, right? And I wasn't bothering nobody. Timid is all outdoors. I wouldn't throw rice at a Chinese wedding. And all you'll get is, that means, hold on, what it was 3 o'clock. And I was like, what are they doing? Right? What are they doing? So they were telling me they wanted to fight me at 3 o'clock. And I ain't did nothing to you. I don't know you. I don't think I looked at you wrong. My eyes was a little caught, without my glasses. So I don't know if they thought I looked at them, but they always was punching their eyes telling me 3 o'clock. So I did start to fight, probably towards, I probably had to fight the first day of school, but by the sixth grade, I got good at it, right? But even though I got good at fighting by the sixth grade, I never was a bully. So even when I went on to junior high school, I always stood up for the person being bullied, and it got me suspended. I had to learn how to rechannel that energy. Why you want to fight her? She don't want to fight you. I fight you. I don't need nobody fight, right? But I just had an issue with bullies because I had been bullied so much. And when I learned to fight, and you win a few fights, you start feeling like you Mike Tyson at, right? So you think you can take down a whole building. So then people start to leave you alone, then you're everybody's best friend, you cool with everybody, and everything pans out well. But just to know, like, don't bother people's children, right? Don't bother. Why do y'all want to fight all the time? And I see that even with adults. Because you can take somebody over the edge. If they're already going through something, you can take them over the edge, right? I hate when people try to bully somebody smaller or younger than, yeah, or bully anybody. It could be someone, with an intellectual disability. Like I know it was the guy from Black Panthers. And I didn't know this because I don't really follow stars that much, as you all know. But they said that he had started to lose a lot of weight, and people were talking about this man, saying he was on drugs. That's a form of bullying. But he actually had a sickness and he later passed. Like when you're bothering a person who has bald spots in their head and you laugh and you eat, and you don't know that that person is dealing with cancer. So just think about that, because bullying comes in different forms. So we sometimes hear it and we think about children, but sometimes you're bullying people to make them make decisions that they don't want to make. If somebody don't want a cigarette, if they don't want to drink, if they don't want to smoke your weed, don't keep saying just a little hit. Just take a little bit. No, get a weed to your grandmother, right? I know I was working at Fort Davis. Ain't nobody lying. Them kids to bully us over Parkland. We first came to Green, and I was in my job. So the one thing I do miss, though, I definitely miss being a social service representative, because those who know me, like my sister Karen and Floyd, and they know that I had no filter before I got in management, right? And this lady came in, and I was on the front. I love the front desk. Right? I still love the front desk. I don't even belong down there sometimes, and I end up down there. But I was at the front desk, and the lady came in there, and she was asking about her benefits. And she was like, if I don't get my benefits, I'm gonna go to F off in here. I'm gonna do all these things, this, that, and that. So of course, we could see their profiles. So I said, is this your right date of birth? So she was like, yeah, thinking like I knew her. We was looking up right. When I said, you mean to tell me you this old and the only thing you know how to do is go off? The lady was so upset with me. She was like 50 years old. And I said, so is that what you're gonna give your kids, your grandkids, your great grands, and your nieces and nephews, your sisters and your cousins? So everybody coming up under you in your 50 years of life, all you know how to do is go off. That's what you're gonna leave them in the wheel. I leave Kern $5 worth of go to F off. I leave Pookie $3 worth of go. So all you got left when all else fails is the go to F off. I'm concerned, right? That lets me know what's going on in the community right now. People laugh in my head all the time, but I learned years to stop caring about what people say or feel. Definitely, definitely. I remember fighting this girl, and her 50-year-old mother jumped in it. Definitely, that's why you need to stay away from those counterparts and those kind of people, right? So definitely, tea time is about to wrap up. We'll have some other discussion as it relates to things that will lead to stress. I know finances is a big one, and I know that we definitely want to discuss, but I want us to stay prayed up. I want us to stay encouraged, right? And I want us to pray over our minds. So when we're praying, make sure we are thanking God for a sound mind. Like that works, right? Let him be able to recall to my memory what I need to remember, what I need to do, what I need to say, right? And as always, I want to say thank you all so much for sipping with a sister. And I look forward to seeing you all next week as we continue a part 2 of peer pressure, stress, and leading to suicide. Have a great day.